Now it's my privilege to introduce Dr. Ajay Kela, the President and CEO of the Wadhwani Foundation, for our inaugural keynote address. Dr. Kela's remarkable journey from scaling startups in the Silicon Valley to leading impactful initiative at the foundation is a source of inspiration. Driven by his passion to make positive social impact, he reinvented his career following a successful 3 decades in the technology sector in the Silicon Valley. Dr. Ajay has a remarkable track record of expanding the foundation's initiatives, spanning 20 countries and facilitating over $100 million in government investments over the past 8 years. Let's give him a warm welcome.
Very good afternoon to all of you, and thank you so much for all of you to have come here. Fighting probably Delhi traffic here on Friday afternoon is not fun. I just want to do two things today: talk about the foundation and the mission, and how you as employers are a very key cog in that wheel for us. And all the stuff that we will do today here is essentially try to drive at how you can help us help you better. And as we go through the mission, you'll see how we are really working for you guys. So starting at what's the mission of the foundation? So in simple terms, what we want to do is empower as many families around the world with at least one individual in the family with a family supporting wage. And the whole idea behind that is if every family has that kind of an earning capacity beyond food, shelter, clothing, and today probably internet is also a key requirement, to invest in the professional upliftment of themselves and their kids, you not only transform the individual and the immediate family, but potentially generations to come. So being a non-profit for us, it was not so much about every time you're hungry, you raise your hand, we feed you a fish. It was all about, can we empower you to fish so you too can live a life of dignity? So with that sort of as a context, everything the foundation does is in the job space. And within the job space is not any job. It's a job that can support a family of 4. So it's not a job of an Uber driver or a Swiggy driver. Although they are earning decent wages, there's no growth path for them. Maybe good enough as an individual, but as they get married and they have children, it's not good enough. So what we do, two things. One is we create such high-value family wage jobs. And to do that, we primarily work with various stages of entrepreneurs. So from educating and inspiring the best and brightest in the countries we operate in, India and 15 other countries, to look at entrepreneurship as an alternate career. The good news is India, Mexico, Brazil, if you drive around, there are 10,000 problems screaming for a better solution. So if we can get our best minds to focus on solving those problems, creating solutions, creating companies, and creating jobs, it's a win-win proposition. And the intent here is to create Silicon Valley kinds of companies that will grow extensively and hire tons of people. Flipkart is an example of that in India. So that's one initiative, it's called Ignite. Our second initiative is to support those that have started the entrepreneurial journey. So these are startup entrepreneurs. Failure rate in India is 90%. It's similar failure rate in Indonesia and Mexico and Brazil, the countries we operate in. And today there's no shortage of entrepreneurial gyan that they can access from the internet. But every startup entrepreneur that comes to work is dealing with 10 problems of the day that is very personal to them. And if they don't solve those 10 problems, there'll be 10 more the next day and so on. So they need very personalized intervention. And our mission there is, can we reduce the failure rate so that many more can survive and thrive? So that's that initiative program is all around lift off. We call it lift off. The third bucket are companies that are small businesses, could be spark plug manufacturer or some logistic company. Maybe, in rupee terms, there are 50 crores, 100 crores. So a proven business model, demonstrated success, but a potential to scale 10x. When large companies want to scale, the McKinseys and Accentures of the world come and help them. These guys don't get that help. Can we provide some kind of, again, customized help to them to be able to scale? So those are three initiatives that drive job creation. The other side of the coin is for a family wage job, the skills that are required to demand a family wage jobs are substantial and ever changing. There was a time when, at least in the US, a high school degree was enough to get a family wage job. Today in India, even an engineering degree may not be enough. And even if you have a degree from a top college that gets you a decent job today, the shelf life of what you have learned is no more than 3 to 5 years and rapidly diminishing. So skilling and upskilling is going to be the key requirement and is the key requirement for getting a decent family wage. And that's where we are working in. So about 7 years ago, we went and talked to about 2,000 employers and asked them, what is it they look for when they are hiring individuals? Certainly, a large chunk of that pie was technical skills. So if I am in whatever, a retail vertical, I want to make sure they understand retail and so on. But the other 70% is really in soft skills or employability skills. It's communication skills, it's teamwork, it's collaboration, it's critical thinking, it's problem solving. So 5 years ago, we built a solution around that. All of us that are in the organization come from a technology background. Our DNA is really in technology and AI. In fact, AI is now, everybody is talking about it. Ramesh's first company after he graduated in 1969, 1969 from IIT Bombay, and then in 2 years he got a PhD from CMU and he started a robotics company. 10 years of failure in the robotic business, but I think the time for AI has come. Anyway, so what we do as a foundation is we leverage our DNA in technology and AI and build platforms and solutions. So that's one of our offering. Second offering is we work to influence state and central government policies. And we take these two and deploy it through existing infrastructure. So why not leverage the incubators? In India, there are 700 incubators. Only 5-10 of them are delivering the goods. Could we upskill them, upgrade them so that many more of them can deliver the goods? Similarly, on entrepreneurship training, we work with the institutes and train the faculty to deliver the program. So just to talk about some of the numbers, this year on educating college students to become entrepreneurs, we will do 50,000. On the small business and startups, we are probably going to support somewhere around 2,500 of those businesses this year. On skilling, we we are going to be supporting 1 million students across all the country. And in India, we are going to be supporting somewhere around 500,000 students. So that's the kind of scale we have been able to achieve because of we are able to leverage technology and leverage the ecosystem to deliver the goods. So these are our biggest initiatives. There are some other initiatives that we have kicked off. Wadhwani Innovation Network. Any country that aspires to be a leader in this dynamic world needs to be a leader in innovation as well. India, just a few years ago was ranked 69th on innovation. Today, probably it's around 50, 60. On the other hand, when Indians leave India, they are leading the world. The head of Google is an Indian, the head of Microsoft is an Indian, the head of the top research lab in UC San Diego is an Indian, and on and on and on. So about 10 years ago, we established and we tried an experiment where we set up a Wadhwani Research Center for Biosciences and Biotechnology with the intent of building low-cost biosensors, biomedical devices. Over the 10 years, we funded about 109 projects, and 10 of them have been commercialized with raising external funding. With that success, today we are, in fact, next month we will be announcing setting up replicating that in 4 verticals in AI, bioengineering, advanced computing, and health tech in 8 to 10 centers in India, where the intent is to take university research into products and startups and help university researchers think about entrepreneurship. This is what happens in, Boston and New York and Silicon Valley, but it doesn't happen here. So that's another one of our vertical. The last vertical I'll talk about that we are doing at some scale. Every 2 years, Ramesh and I meet with the Prime Minister and we talk about all the success we have achieved. And I think some of this scale that we have been able to achieve is been able to penetrate and work through the government. But last time he said, I have a request for you guys. In this day and age, if you don't leverage technology, it's almost impossible to serve anyone. Even the street vendor that is selling sabjis today is leveraging technology. The government of India has the largest customer base to serve, 1.4 billion people. Majority of the bureaucrats are not technology aware. And if you can just make them technology aware so that when they are recognizing problems and projects, they will be able to at least be conversant and leverage some of these technologies. So we set up a Wadhwani Institute of Technology and Policy. We are rebranding it to Wadhwani WGDT, Wadhwani Government Digital Transformation. And shifting the focus from 3 years ago when we started, cybersecurity was big, it's dying. What's the, when you wear those goggles and look at, AR, VR was big, it's dying. So now AI is becoming front and center, and then we are leveraging that. So we have trained over the last 3 years, close to about 50,000 odd, I can't remember the number now. Yeah, 2 lakh have taken one course, but deeper training for about 30 to 40,000 has happened. So that's another example of what we are doing. I think I am taking a lot more time than. So what we would like to show you is what we have built, so today's conversation we'll just focus on skilling. And what we are producing from a skilling perspective that serves you as a community. Uh, our target audience is, so in India as well as globally, uh, only 30% of 12th grade graduates pursue a college program. So 70% are left behind. So here's an 18-year-old that has finished high school with an aspiration first to support themselves, and then, a few years down the road, have a spouse, have children. But a 12th grade degree is not going to get them there. And 70% of the population is that. So if we can upskill them with in-demand jobs, they have some chance of being able to, live a life of dignity themselves. And the good news is, I think employers also today are increasingly valuing skills over academic credentials. It certainly has happened to a very large extent in the US. 5 years ago, Google introduced these 5 courses, which was about 400, 500 hours of training in digital marketing and user interface design and so on, and said, if you take those courses and get a certificate, we don't care whether you're a 8th grader or a college student. If you go to the Google site today, there are more than 100 companies that are accepting that and they don't care about academic credentials. And the fact is that, textbook model and academic is dead. We haven't buried it. We should all embrace continuous learning and upskilling. And so that's what sort of we have focused on, upskilling the vulnerable. So these could be 10th graders, 12th graders, or anyone who is displaced from their current role and can be upskilled. The industries that are dying and then be upskilled. So what we want to do is demonstrate to you our model, the product that we have built, and how we take it there. Given on one side, it's employees who are seeking, on the other side, you guys that are giving the jobs. These two are our core cogs of the wheel. And after this conversation, we'll spend a lot of time where you can help us figure out what we need to do so that we can do a better job for yourselves. With that, I'm happy to take questions. Otherwise, we'll get on to.
One clarification, Ajay, that we do all this philanthropic. So we're not selling any product or anything. So people should not think that.
Yeah, sure.
So our product is all philanthropic, free of cost to the people, and it is foundation run. We don't accept donations. So it's our foundation money. Totally is pledged by Ramesh.
Yeah. Thank you. I think, Ramesh has been a serial entrepreneur. He's made several billions. The current endowment of the foundation is 3 billion. We expect it to go to 8 to 10 billion. I've worked with Ramesh now 20 years, 10 years on the for-profit side, another 10 years on the one thing that keeps us all going is his heart is in the right place. He's not doing it to, in fact, how many of you had heard of Wadhwani Foundation before that? Not many, right? Because the entire focus is not on personal branding and so on. Me and my leaders, when we have conversation, it's all about outcomes. If we touch someone, did they get a job because of our intervention? Did they get a better job? So incremental impact that we created is what we measure versus, thumping our chest or saying, hey, Mr. Wadhwani is contributing $10 million or $100 million to the year. Okay. So long and short, for that reason, we don't take a single pie because we don't want to dilute our mission and be misdirected by it. Okay,